In a small, unassuming house on the outskirts of town, there was a basement that held more than just old boxes and a creaky washer and dryer. Beneath the dim, flickering light bulb and cold cement floors lurked an entity, desperate and lonely, haunting the space where families came to do their laundry. It had been there for decades, a presence unseen but deeply felt by anyone who dared descend the creaky wooden stairs. Every time someone entered the basement, they felt an unshakable chill. Goosebumps would rise on their skin, and an eerie sensation of being watched would creep over them. The air grew thick, and a subtle, almost imperceptible tug seemed to pull at their very soul. It was as if the shadows themselves reached out, yearning for something they couldn't comprehend. The entity, a tormented soul trapped between worlds, didn't understand its loneliness or why it was condemned to this dark, cold space. All it knew was that it craved connection, a companion to share its eternal solitude. With each attempt to grasp at the living, it grew stronger, feeding on their fear and drawing closer to its grim goal. One fateful evening, Emma, a new tenant, went down to do her laundry. She'd always felt uneasy in the basement, but tonight the feeling was more intense than ever. As she loaded the washing machine, the tug grew stronger, almost painful. Suddenly, the world around her seemed to twist, and she felt herself being pulled out of her body. Her vision blurred, and with a final, desperate grasp, she fell to the floor, her lifeless body crumpling beside the washing machine. For the first time, Emma saw the entity clearly. It was a spectral figure, its face etched with sorrow and longing. It reached out, not with malice, but with a yearning so profound that it tugged at her heart. Emma realized that this being wasn't a monster, but a lonely soul seeking solace. In this spectral state, Emma found she could communicate with the entity. She learned that it had once been a person, much like herself, who had been trapped in this basement through some tragic twist of fate. Its loneliness had grown unbearable, driving it to seek out the living, hoping to find someone who could understand its pain. After some time passed, Emma awoke in her body, but she no longer feared the basement. Instead, she visited often, sitting on the cold cement floor and speaking to the spirit about her day, her dreams, and the world outside. The entity, in turn, shared its memories and the sorrow that had kept it tethered to this place. In time, the basement no longer felt cold and oppressive. The air seemed lighter, the shadows less menacing. Emma's compassion and understanding had given the entity a sense of peace it had longed for. No longer always bound to the basement, it was no longer a sinister force but a silent companion, content in the company of a friend. And so, what had once been a place of fear became a sanctuary of connection, where two souls, one living, one spectral, found solace in each other's presence, bridging the gap between the worlds of the living and the dead. This has been a Murder Minute TV production. Please like and subscribe for more terrifying stories and true crime content. And until next time, always remember, watch your back.